All right.
Tom's gonna start broadcasting for work every day.
Gotcha. And we are now live. So everybody who's here right now, which is us three, welcome to the stream.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Right.
Good to be here.
So we have myself, the Manorican 3351 Dom, and we have Energy Dude 5 without the 5, and we have Crow 2627. He's very black, that's why you can't see him.
Whoa! Whoa! Now. Whoa!
He doesn't have
Now.
his webcam set up on this computer. So now, let's hear some backgrounds from you guys first before I go, because I'm trying to get the link for this.
All right. You gonna go first, Crow, or should I go first?
You can go. Go ahead, Energy.
All right. Well, I guess what got me into computers first was, I guess it actually goes back all the way to my image that I have on my Twitch channel, which is the Atari 2600. Um, I ended up getting that when I was very young, so it was about 8 years old or 7 or so. Kind of dating myself, but it kind of got me interested into how they made that. Like, how do you make Pac-Man go across the screen like that and control him using, you can control what's on the TV. So, I realized, okay, that's computers, and so ended up I begged my parents to buy. It's a small Atari 2600. In fact, no, not 2600, the 800 XL, which is the other image you see on my channel. That was my first computer right there. So we ended up buying some basic books, like how to program in BASIC, and that's how I learned that. And the bad thing about that, though, was I did not get a floppy drive or a tape drive. So every time I turned it off, guess what? I
Oh, you
lost.
lost everything.
Yeah, I lost everything. So,
That sucks.
so yeah. But that's pretty much what got me first into computers was you know, the video games and stuff like that, which I'm still playing to this day.
Crow, what got you into
Um,
comps?
yeah, that's fun. For me, it was basically I was kind of born into computers. My dad was a computer programmer. He started programming with the old punch cards, so that's when back in like the 70s, I think, is when he started programming. Um, then I started really gaming when I was about 2 on DOS, so before Windows, and then just it's kind of always grown from there. Just always been into computers. My dad's always been more into uh, buying computers for me than he ever was buying like a Nintendo or any of the consoles. So I always had computers and computer parts more so than I ever did consoles. So
Yeah, I remember those DOS days, trying to get that, trying to get all that memory
hell
working,
yeah,
make those games work.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Having to remember all the DOS commands to be able to even bring things up to play.
Yeah, the
No.
EMM386, high mem, and all that good stuff.
Yep.
You guys are so old.
Dom had it good, man. He just loaded up Windows 95 just to play everything.
Windows
Right,
95, bro.
right.
My first operating system. What did I have? 128 megs of RAM, I believe it was.
95 was your first OS?
Yep. I'm a youngin',
Wow.
bro.
I mean, I know
1989.
you are. I was born in '87, so I mean,
Nah, man. But that was what got me into computers was opening up my Windows 98 machine after that and seeing that the IDE cable and messing it up and having to fix the shit myself. But yeah. But my first computer was a Windows 95 custom built. I've always had custom builds all my life. Life, not lives. I'm not reincarnated yet. But yeah, my father's cousin built that for him. And when he got his Windows 98 PC, like the next year later, he gave me that. And that became my own. Did straight Minecraft and everything. So that's what got me started. And by the way, Blue, Violet are watching us.
All
Just,
right.
just
Welcome.
saying. All right. So, favorite PC parts. Starting with Crow this time.
What do you mean favorite PC parts?
Your favorite part of the PC. If you could only have one part to stare at for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Probably the motherboard. I actually had a motherboard as a kid, which is kind of weird, but still, had the actual. And this is back when motherboards were huge too. They were the size of like the full cases now. That's how big the motherboard was. So I don't know. It's just really neat to see how it's all put together, and to see all the resistors and capacitors and stuff on it. So I've always been fascinated by the motherboards.
Energy, your favorite part to look at?
Now, what did you say about the favorite PC part? Like, what's the favorite one? But what did you say before that or after?
What, me or him?
You.
Oh no, I was saying, what's your favorite part? Something that you could just stare at for the rest of your life.
Oh, stare at. Okay. Um, I don't know. It's a good question, but the thing would be, how technology evolves so much, so then I can't say a floppy drive anymore. I can't say a CD drive anymore.
No shit.
So, um, and who knows, maybe right now I would probably say the graphics card. But who in in a couple of years, who knows what that will be? But I guess the graphics card.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, there you go. Wait, hold on. Okay, wait. I don't know what that was.
You fucker,
That
580.
GTX 580.
I'm looking at it right here every day, right here on the side.
Same thing with mine, it's right next to me.
Man, if I had my camera on, I could show you my GTX 680. Since my computer's in pieces right now.
Oh man.
That's
my favorite
680
part-
classified.
My favorite part is actually the graphics card also, because I could just sit there and play with the fan.
Right? I actually grabbed on and started spinning the fan.
That's what makes it fun. So, my dream build, because let's select the next topic, dream build, would have to be, of course, the extreme processor, 4K monitors, and try SLI. Because I don't want to do quad SLI, the motherboard would cost too much.
What you gotta come on now? You gotta do a little more detail there. Do you have a
5960X that's going to come out next end of the year, next year, because I'm actually going to buy that. The Asus Rampage Republic of Gaming motherboard.
the Rampage 4?
The Rampage 4. It's probably going to be a 5 when that processor comes out.
I don't know. I was gonna say right now the 4 is not. It's not even close to being the best motherboard out there. There's several other good ones. EVGA has a really good motherboard out there right now for the 2011 socket.
Yeah, and I won't even go 2400 megahertz of RAM. I'll just do 2166 is the net speed after 1866, or 2133. That's it.
Yeah, I think it's 2133 after 1800.
128 gigs of that. And she's just looking like, what the?
What, 28 gigs?
No, I was looking at the
No,
side.
128. That's the max.
Oh,
That's support.
128.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And 3 880s SLI, because they're gonna have speculation 8 gigs of RAM each,
Gotcha.
and 4 1 terabyte SSDs in RAID 1 or RAID 0, whichever I feel like doing. But and also surround 4K monitors, so I could watch porn and 4K on 3 different screens at the same time.
I knew that's where you were going with that.
I was just waiting. Also, I'm like, I hope he doesn't go there. There he went.
Yeah,
I have to go there.
right there.
Don't
with
worry,
that.
this is flagged for mature audiences.
Man.
Alright,
It's
so
Dom, of course he's going there. Come on.
who's gonna go next?
Energy, I'll let you go next.
All right, I'll go next. Thank you. Let's see. Okay, the dream build. Well, I don't know if I'd go too big with the monitor. Obviously like a 4K monitor, maybe a couple, not too large, but maybe like a 3 monitor setup with. I just saw this. I think it was on Hard OCP. Somebody had like 4 video cards, SLI or whatever on it. I'd probably go with something like that. Just overkill everything. It's a dream PC, you know. So, um, but I don't know. Maybe I'll go with 4 Titans if you can. I don't know. Whatever.
The
You
new
need two
Titan Z.
times. Yeah, you need
Yeah.
two. That's quad. That's a lot right there, bro.
Yeah. And um, probably some solid state drives and SSD. So in RAID, I mean, yeah, of course they're SSD, but in a RAID. And then I don't know. I guess other than that, maybe those are, I guess, the main parts. And then um, good motherboard. I haven't really looked into motherboards, so I can't really comment on that. But um, I guess that would be it. Blu-ray drive, of course,
Oh yeah, I forgot about the Blu-ray drive.
with some Xbox One controllers.
There you go. Best Buy had it on sale for $45 the other day. I don't know
Oh,
if they
really?
still have it. Yeah,
Oh,
which I mean, I
somebody
know
did do
$45 is still a little expensive, but you know, it's cheaper than 60 what they normally run.
Yeah.
So, um, but my dream build, I'll kind of give you two. I mean, one would be, you know, similar to what yours is, that what you're talking, Don, with stuff that's, but most of that stuff's a year off, at least a year off.
Yeah.
But for right now, it would be Asus makes a dual 2011 socket motherboard,
Damn.
so you can put 2 processors on it. I'd get that motherboard, do 24960Xs on it. It's actually got 7 PCI Express slots.
Goddamn.
And I would, you know, throw a few. As of right now, it'd probably be like the 780 Ti's, because that's pretty much the
Yeah.
best card that's out at the moment. And then let me see. I actually have the motherboard pulled up. I want to see how much RAM it would hold. It'll at least hold 64 gigs. I know that. But I don't know if it'll do the 128 or not. It'll do 64 gigs of RAM, so I'd do like 64 gigs of 2133, like you were saying earlier.
Yeah, because 2400 is overkill.
Yeah, exactly. And then do like custom water loop for the video cards and custom water loop for the processor. Since we're talking dream build.
Wait, so do you know how custom water loop? Because me and Energy were actually speaking about that last night.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're scared to do it because no, I'm laughing because I'm looking at Energy in the left and on my right screen at the same time doing different expressions. Yeah, because we're scared that we're gonna mess it up.
No, I mean it's the biggest thing is just getting the air out of the loop, you know, and then making sure that everything is sealed like it's supposed to be. But it's you know, if you watch some YouTube videos and stuff like that, it's really not that hard to do.
Yeah. So Energy, no, so I led. So then you was like, Crow, your current build, what is it?
My current build is a Intel i7 4770K for the processor. The motherboard is a Gigabyte Z87 OC Force, EVGA GTX 680 classified 4 gig edition. I'm running 32 gigs of G-Skill Ripjaw series 1866 RAM. I've got now I have a 240 gig OCZ solid state drive and a 2 terabyte Western Digital hard drive. Also have the live Aver Media Live Gamer HD capture card for doing the console whenever I stream. You want to know like accessories too? Mouse,
Yeah, you can send
keyboard.
me accessories.
Okay. The Black Widow Ultimate 2013 edition for the keyboard. SteelSeries Sensei for the mouse, which I absolutely love. Just recently gotten that. The Logitech G930 wireless headset, and I now have a Blue Yeti Pro for the mic, and then monitor setup where I'm running dual Asus 144 hertz 24-inch monitors.
Rich bastard. Oh man. Wait, since you're getting the H100i, are you going to overclock more or no?
Um, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah, that's right. I'm also just about to get a 1200 watt Corsair power supply. So, but yeah, I'm probably about to buy an H100i, assuming that everything ends up being okay, or I get a new motherboard, or whatever happens with that sometime next week. So probably do the H100i, and I don't know. I may overclock a little more. I may just kind of leave it still at 4.2 gigahertz and just not worry about temperatures.
Yeah. All right, so Energy, you want to go or you want the knife guy to go?
I guess you can go. Whoever's next. The knife guy.
So, standard 4770K was overclocked to 4.3, except my temperatures were hitting 100 degrees Celsius.
Yikes!
16 gigs of OCZ Ripjaw 1866 RAM. 2 terabyte hard drive. Was going to get SSD for $30 the other day. Energy told me it's not big enough.
How
Come
big
on,
of
I did
an
not say
SSD
that.
was it? How big of an SSD was it?
64 gigs. Energy saying that the size does matter in this.
Actually, truthfully, a 64 gig SSD would not be big enough for Windows 7.
Nope.
And especially with all the apps I have and games that I want to put on the shit.
Well, I mean, yeah, but really your SSD you only need for your OS, and if you have a big enough SSD, put a couple of games on it, like whatever games you play the most. Like when I was streaming Battlefield 3 or 4 every night, I had Battlefield on there. Just so that everything would load quickly. The maps would load a little quicker, the game would load a little quicker. And then when we were playing Counter-Strike all the time, I had Counter-Strike on there as well, just so you load into Counter-Strike quicker. You don't have to worry about all those.
Doesn't take that many resources.
It doesn't, but still, you have the load screens from map to map and everything.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that crap.
And when you're running off an SSD, it just loads a little faster, so you're in the game quicker. You're not, especially when you're streaming, you're not just sitting there waiting on load screens as much. So it's another reason why I bought that 240 gig SSD, is so that I can put some extra games on there.
Yeah. And I have basic mid-tower case that doesn't fit shit because I have like 8 fans in here that don't even fit. Oh man. Basic Z87 UDH 4 gigabyte board. 3 monitors hooked up. 2 of them 1080p Asus. They're like $200 each, 60 hertz, 2 millisecond response.
Do you have a 144?
Not yet.
Not yet. Gotcha.
No, because I'm trying to get it
Get
on
one.
sale.
Yeah,
That's why I went for the third one.
You should have gotten one when I bought my second one. It was like $260.
Yeah, but I want to get
Actually,
for
it was less than
$200
that.
because I was going to use the money I was going to buy the Nvidia Shield with for that. Plus, I am out $200 after today anyway. But other than that, 780 Ti, of course. What else is in this crap? That's it. Peripherals, Razer specs, whatever this is called, mouse pad skin thing, G500S mouse, Black Widow Ultimate 2014 edition.
Logitech mouse, dude. Those Logitech mice are pretty good. I liked my G700. But...
I like it because of the removable weights at the bottom.
Oh, you have the removable weights on yours?
Yep.
That's cool.
Hell yeah.
That's what I love about it.
Yeah, I've got the weights for like a G5 or something like that, or I can't remember exactly what it was. It was an older Logitech mouse, but I don't have the mouse, unfortunately.
I'll tell you the best mouse though ever the Microsoft IntelliMouse. Life with a lifetime warranty.
With the lifetime warranty.
They made it with a lifetime warranty, so if your cable, whatever, stopped working, it didn't work, you could send it in, they'll send you another one. And there was a big old deal with all that stuff.
With the
They
white
had
one with
to,
the red
yeah,
lights.
yeah.
I'm looking at that shit right now.
It was amazing, dude. And it had the buttons, it had like the two buttons on the side and everything. It's hard to find a mouse like that, even to this day, even with all these other buttons and with all the mice, they got 5 million on the side. Um, but that mouse was it lasted forever. It was a really good mouse. And but now then they found out that yeah, exactly, that's the one. That was an amazing. No, there's one that has two buttons on the side of that.
Uh,
That's similar to that.
this
There
one
it is,
right
right
here.
there. That one.
Yeah.
That's the one.
I remember that mouse actually. I
We
had
all
one of
do.
those. I
That
had
was
one
an
of those
amazing
for
mouse.
work for a while. Yeah.
Yeah, and those had lifetime warranties, so you can keep people kept like four or five. They would send them in, and they keep sending them back, and Microsoft would give them a new one. They had to honor their warranty. So, but then after that, once they realized that they messed up with that, they changed their warranty, and it's not lifetime anymore.
Oh, I was gonna say, can you send in the old one now?
You can. Well, maybe I haven't tried, but you're supposed to be able to. Yeah,
Yeah, because it should go by serial number.
yeah. I sent one in, and they sent me a new one, and I sent them. Well, I didn't even send them the old one. They just sent me a new one. So it was pretty cool. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I have this Samsung, not Samsung, Samsung microphone, which you can't see because it's on the boom mic stand and the shock mount. Other than that, it's on you, Energy.
All right. I guess let's see. I guess I'll start. I'll start off with this.
You still have the
That
box.
Core F7 box, dude. I have my box too. That
Fuck,
Yeah.
my box is
3930K.
on.
Father boxes. Yeah, the Core i7. It was i7 3930K.
Man, I built my computer like I think literally like a week to 2 weeks before all that stuff came out. If it had been out, I would have bought a 4930K when I built my stuff.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Just
enough for him though. He bought the 3930.
Yeah, the 3930.
Yeah,
But
I
that was,
understand. I'm just saying, like, if that stuff had, if those had been out when I bought my 4770K and everything, because at that time it was like 4770K. The next step up was like the the 3960X and the 4960X and stuff. I wasn't making the jump from 300 to 1,000. I would have been able to make the jump from 300 to like 500. I would have been okay with.
That jump is still $200.
Yeah, but it's not
Yeah.
$700.
Yeah.
And then just recently, my SSD crashed, and I ended up getting this one.
I love how he has the boxes ready.
Show and tell, baby. Show and tell.
Oh, fuck.
So yeah, it's the Samsung 840 EVO. Hopefully it lasts a lot longer than my Corsair did. It was a Corsair Neutron or Neuron something. Supposed to have a 3-year warranty, so hopefully I can RMA and I should get another one. But in the meantime, I have that one. So, and then I have a 770 EVGA 770, I guess GTX superclock or just superclock. That's for my video card, and was it an Asus P90? Was it P90X or what's the one?
He's looking for the box. You guys
Yeah, I'm looking for the box.
Where's
It's
your
back there somewhere,
is
but
your
I'm not
headset
gonna go get it.
wireless? Oh no, it's not.
What?
No,
Headset? No, it's
yeah.
not wireless.
No, he's got the 840s.
Yeah, and then here's my power supply.
That Corsair power supply.
The
Wait, is that-
TX50M.
Is that bronze or silver?
It is a.
But
I think
silver.
it's.
It's on the bottom right hand corner. It says 80.
Oh, it's just 80 bronze. It's a bronze.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's still good enough.
So I just try to get something that was a little bit more than what I needed because as you see, there's a graph showing here. I'm gonna show you. Where is that?
Right there.
See those graphs right here?
Yeah.
That shows you the efficiencies. So you want something that's going to be in the middle. So 850 is going to be right here. That's not as efficient. If you're going to be using less, then it's going to be here. So you're going to be a lot more efficient. So you don't want to get something that's just what you're using. You want something that's a little bit more than that. So you're actually saving power, not wasting it. You lose less power even though it's a higher rated power supply. Um, so I have that, and then also I have the same microphone that Dom has, but I'm not using it right now.
Show it on stream. You have it right there.
It's in fact,
You have the box for that?
this
I
this will be
actually have
like the millionth time I show this on the stream, but here's the box for it.
my box is somewhere to my left.
Samsung. That one, it, it's it picks up everything. If my wife's talking way in a different room, and that picks it up still. So I also got a boom mic, well, boom stand, everything like
Dom.
Dom did,
Let you
and
do this.
yeah. So and hopefully that should be coming in pretty soon. So I should have all that set up pretty soon. And let's see what else. Oh, I have I'm sure you guys don't know what this one is.
I like how you lift the shit up.
What is that? Is that a
The-
Microsoft keyboard?
It was before, which I have over here. This is my old keyboard, which you could do this too. This is what I like about it though.
Oh, the
That's actually
removable.
pretty cool.
Yeah, where you can use a number pad on this side, or if you want to, you put it on. Wait, there it goes on that side. It's
The
just
thing I like is the knobs.
yeah. Then you have volume control and all. It was a good keyboard, but it's not mechanical, so
And you
I couldn't
spelled
play DuckTales
CNC
on
on
this.
there? You couldn't at all.
Nope.
Wait, is that the one you spelled CNC on?
Yeah.
That's why you can't play DuckTales.
Well, no, that's not why, because I can't press left and right at the same time, or up and left at the same
Oh,
time.
the Z and the A.
Yeah. So
Spaces, whatever.
Also, you couldn't
Yeah.
have something else for your mic to very, very easily pick up.
right, exactly. So, but no, this one here, it's actually the Stealth, so it's not as loud as the normal mechanical keyboards.
Not as loud, but it still makes noise.
Yeah. So yeah, it's the Razer Black Widow Stealth, or Ultimate Stealth. So, and let's see.
Monitors. What do you have
My
for
monitor, I have two monitors. I have a Samsung 25.5 or something, which is also serves as a television, but I don't really use that very often. As my secondary monitor, my primary is the Asus 20. Right here.
Or you have the box too?
No, I got the sticker.
This is what-
48 QE 144 hertz.
I actually have the box, both boxes for both my 144 hertz monitors.
Yeah, I just barely threw away the box for it like a couple days ago. It was just too big to show on the stream, so I
Yeah,
figured
that
I'll
box
just
is
throw it.
huge.
So that's my secondary monitor. Then I have another one that's just a small HP that I used to use as my secondary before for just chat and text or whatever. But I don't use that one anymore. I could use it as a third monitor, but it's just right now I just haven't set it up yet.
Is it 1080p?
It is probably at most, yeah, 1080p.
So surround porn, bro.
And my Samsung is actually was it 1440p?
Yeah,
He's
1440.
married. He can't admit to that, Dom. Come on now.
That's what the Astros are for.
And so the 1440p, that's why when I would stream when I first started streaming, I was streaming at, what was the 800p?
Yeah.
Because it was 1.5 times the 1440, so that was 800. I wasn't doing 720, I was doing 800.
Yeah, that was actually really cool though.
Yeah. But now that I switched over to primary monitors, the Asus, I went back to the 1080p and the 720. So, but it's still cool. It's the 144 hertz makes a big difference. So,
Yeah.
and then this is my other accessory. So
It has YUDD in it.
my
YUDD.
my liquid cooling. That's my liquid cooling. Speaking of liquid cooling, I do have the H100i, and the box is actually back there. It's right there on the dock.
That's it.
I'm not gonna go get it, but you guys know what that
Tom,
looks like. So
Don't you have the H60?
Yeah, I have the H60
Yeah,
right now.
I was gonna say, I don't think you mentioned that when you were going. So
yeah, and I did have to mod my case a little bit to make it fit. So if you do get liquid cooling, you gotta make sure your case fits and works with it. Even the new
Absolutely,
case that I
yes.
bought.
that's the biggest thing. If you want to do liquid cooling, you really need to figure out what you want to get,
Yeah.
and then figure out if your case will make it fit. Because I've helped some people and known some other people where it's like, this is the liquid cooling they wanted to get, and this is the case they wanted to get. But I was doing some research for them or trying to help them get it put together, and that what do they call them?
The radiator?
The radiator. There you go. Thank you. Couldn't think of that word. The radiator was too big, or the holes for the screws for the radiator weren't in a very good spot for the case, and so they either had to drill some holes or do a little bending on the radiator of the case that you really shouldn't do to get the radiator in there properly. So
Yeah, like what I had to do is my case has fans in the inside on top, so I actually had to move those on to the outside so I could put the radiator inside the case
Putting
instead
the
on
fans
top.
on top of your case?
Yep, that's the mod I had to do. So and it works and it's keeping it very cool. So
well, I mean, when you go with the H100, that's usually where you have to do it, is on the top of the case.
yeah.
The
So
H100 or the H110. The H60 you can put in a lot of different places. Like on
yeah,
my case, I had it on the back.
Yeah, that's what I have right now.
yeah, it's just a lot
But
smaller.
on mine, it could go up on the top. But yeah, it's only got the single 120 millimeter fan. Whereas with the H100, you've got like two 120s,
Yeah, 2
220
120s.
millimeter fans. So it's a lot bigger radiator that most cases you can't put on the back. There are a few that will allow you to put it on the back, but most of them won't. They only have room for that one 120.
Yeah,
Right.
right now I'm doing the push and pull. I have 2 fans on my H60. And that barely fit in the case. I cut myself twice doing that.
Yeah, I thought about doing that, but I didn't quite have enough room, so I just have the one fan.
What about you, Energy? You ever thought about that?
About what?
Putting push and pull on the liquid cooler.
It's already kind of doing that, but it's because the fans that came with the radiator are on one side, and then I have the
The other
fans
one.
from the case on top, so it's kind of already doing that. Yeah.
All right. So let's get into topic. What do we all do for a living, other than stream to Twitch and being awesome?
I'll go first.
Oh yeah, I forgot. What's going on? You could go first, bro.
I mean, it's whatever. It doesn't matter. But I work for a retail company, small retail company that's mostly just in the South, in Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. Um, but I am their network and server admin, basically. So a lot of my time is spent maintaining and upgrading, checking backups for the servers. Just making sure that all our very important servers are running as much as possible, maximum amount of uptime for the company. We have stores that are open 6 days a week for, what are they open, about 13, 14 hours a day. So got to make sure those servers are up and running. Otherwise, I start getting phone calls and lots of very upset and irate people.
Oh, exactly. Yep.
And then also just trying to keep the network up and running. We actually have about 7 warehouses across the U.S. and a couple in Toronto, Canada. But just trying to keep the network up and maintain firewalls at all of our stores and all our warehouses. So that's what I do for a living.
Energy, you want to go or do you want me to go?
No, I can go.
Yeah.
So I do with my official title is technical analyst. Yeah. Basically IT support. So I create network accounts, email accounts. Anybody has any issues with their computers, I help. It's a big group. I'm part of the group that also helps call them back and make sure that whatever their problem is, we can get it fixed or whatever. And first actually goes through the support center. So if they can't fix it, then it comes to us. Especially if it's a lot of things that we need to go on site with. And it's a company that it's basically a company that manages and owns luxury apartments.
Mm-hmm.
So we take care not of the residents, but like let's say the business centers and the office computers and all that stuff. and then also the corporate offices, and then other departments that are not really related to that, like the construction groups, the development groups, all that stuff. So we make sure their computers are up and running all the time. And um,
Oh,
I,
Brenna's in here. Just so you guys know. Sorry to cut you off.
oh,
Hi,
it's okay.
Yep,
Brenna.
I was just about to tell Energy that. Brenna said hi, Energy.
Oh, hello. Yeah, so it's I get to travel every now and then, which is good. I'm not traveling as much anymore because we hired another person and he's doing most of the traveling now. So, but I would travel basically. And there was one time where I went to Boston, and then from Boston I went to Colorado. What was it, Phoenix, Arizona, and then from Phoenix, Arizona, I ended up in Seattle, Washington. So basically, one side of the country to the middle to the other side within like a week and a half. So, but
Wow.
it's fun. So, I got to see what was very interesting is you get to see how all the different places just it's so there's big variety. Like it was Boston looked different from obviously from Phoenix, and then you can see the difference between Phoenix and Boston to Seattle. So it was pretty cool. So but it's yeah, that's basically what I do. So
All right, so time for the most boring job ever. I get paid to sit on my ass all day. No. My official job title is assistant manager and technician for an AT&T store. What I actually do is assistant manager, sell stuff on eBay, go business to business to sell cell phone service. We close about 200, 300 lines a month. Travel to 4 or 5 businesses a week and repair phones. It's not that glamorous like you guys. These big job titles. I'm just assistant store manager with a 2 or 3 hour commute each way.
that's a killer. That
Yeah,
commute. I didn't
I
know how you do it,
exactly.
man.
I don't either. Mine's 20 minutes, and I could definitely do a little bit longer than that, and would be okay with it. But 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours is just there's no way I could do that every day.
Yeah, I used
You
to
get
do
used to it.
commute quite a bit, but now that I'm not commuting as much, I'll get home and the sun's still out. I'm so amazed. It's like, wow.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
Um,
yeah. Your
so,
drop time's like cut in half now, isn't it, Energy?
pretty much, yeah.
oh, because you don't have to take your wife out.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, especially because we would go to the medical center and that's going back into town and then having to go back out and it was crazy, but now I just go straight home and I'm home in like in 40, 45 minutes. So, it's a lot better. I'm actually surprised I get home and I'm like, oh, what do I do now? I have some free time now.
Right. That's when you go and take a nap and then don't come back for the night.
Exactly.
Like 2 nights ago.
Hey, I came back the night
Last
after
night.
that, after I took a nap.
Oh, man. So, what's everybody's view on Twitch streaming? Since we all do it.
You want to go first, Dom? Since
I'll go first. Twitch streaming is fun. I don't do it really for the viewers. I that sounded so wrong. What I'm trying to say is I don't do it just to get viewers. I do it just to have fun. It's fun to do. You get what I'm saying? You sit there. It's fun to interact with people. I'm using hand gestures you can't see. So when I'm streaming, it's fun to have somebody come in and ask, "Oh, how did you get this working?" Stuff of that nature. Helping people.
Yeah, absolutely. That was always one of the most fun things for me. Back when back when I was streaming Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4, and was getting 60, 70, 80 viewers a night. Is there were so many people that would come in with computer questions about builds, about things that they were having go wrong and stuff like that. And to me, that was always a lot of fun to interact with people about those type of issues. So.
Yep. So yeah, it's the same for me. I mean, I didn't. Um, I do it for the same reason, just to enjoy interacting with people and just. I've always loved to play games, and I think I have I don't know. Like I've been playing since 2600. I've shown some some pictures where the basketball is a block. It's a little, just one pixel,
No.
and that's what, that was the basketball. You go from one side of the TV to the other and try and make it, and all you do is just push one button. You only had one button on your controller. Try and make it in. So it's a lot of fun. I've been gaming for a while, and um, it's just I don't know. Like I said, I don't do it for it's not necessarily for the viewers, but just to have fun. Same reasons, and um, just interact with others that also enjoy the same things.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, streaming has brought the three of us together, you know,
Yeah.
and a lot of other people too. That there's a lot of people that I play games with now that the only reason I know them is because I started streaming. So
Yep.
it really has been a lot of fun. I've been streaming for about a year now, actually. I think I want to say it was July of last year, somewhere right around there that I started. I think the beginning of July of last year. Um, so, like I said, met a lot of good, nice people. Gotten several things out of streaming. You know,
Racer chair.
yeah, the DX Eraser chair. I got because of streaming. Got from who's a guy that's actually become a pretty good friend, not only playing video games, but one that I've hung out with and several times. So streaming has definitely been good to me and been a lot of fun. So
Yep. So the next real question is 1080p versus 1440 versus 4K. Do we need it? Everybody think?
Not everybody at
well, I
once.
mean, I definitely like the 144 hertz over the 60 hertz. And obviously 1080p. I definitely think we need. Yeah, the 4K. I don't know. I think it'll be a nice thing down the road, but I don't necessarily know that 4K, especially right now, is anything that's really needed. Um, First off, there's not that many things out right now that can actually utilize 4K. Uh, Very, very few things, and even still, I mean, I don't know. I don't see 4K being that necessary, but that's just kind of how technology is. Everything keeps going to bigger and better with technology, and especially with the way that it turns over so quickly. You're just going to start seeing things like that you never thought you would have seen, 5 years ago, and we'll see some of those things in the next year or two. So.
Yep.
Energy, since you have a 1440p.
Yeah, well, it's the same thing. It's kind of, you know, it's technology is progressing. I remember when 1080p was the 4K, but it took a while to get to 1080p from whatever it was back then,
40?
512 or
Oh,
whatever.
oh, that crap, yeah.
Well, it's, from those, and especially like CRT monitors, and then you go up
Oh,
to
wow.
everything else, and so it by the time we get to 4K, 4K is going to be a while before that becomes any type of standard like 1080 is now. Now everything is basically 1080p, and then the 1440 I think is not going to be anything where it's going to be just a stepping stone. Nobody's going to really go 1440.
No.
They're going to go from 1080 back to probably skip that and just go to 4K. So um, no, definitely 4K is probably going to even above 4K is probably going to become the standard at one point. But then you have to also take into consideration these video cards are not going to be able to handle that. Whatever you have, you're gonna have to upgrade to do that, and upgrade your CPU, upgrade everything to be able to push that many pixels at once at the anti-aliasing that you want, at the Ultra Crisis 5, setting.
Expressive.
Right.
So, it's all it's part of it's big business. They want to keep pushing more pixels in. Part of it is innovation and try and get more, um, just to innovate and get better. But then it's also, okay, we already have this product. What else can we do? How else can we keep making more money? And it's, well, okay, let's make better, more pixels in a monitor. Then they're going to have to buy more graphics cards. But then again, for example, this 144 hertz, if we didn't have at least 120 hertz monitors, we
Oh,
wouldn't be
yeah.
getting the motion, we wouldn't get in all the good stuff. So it's all just progressing, but it's all part of business. It's all just part of everything. But I think at one point the 4K would probably become a standard, but it's going to take several years, at least between 5 to 10 years
Yeah,
before.
because you're also
You know,
going to have a lot more games that are built natively for 4K resolution, not just
exactly.
a game that's built for 1080p that has
Mm-hmm.
also been converted to be able to run on 4K.
But, yeah, that brings
That,
up the
that
point. Yeah.
yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I just finished buying right now on Steam sale Baldur's Gate 2 remastered or whatever they call it, HD enhanced edition, because if I run it now with the CD that I have right there in the back shelf right there, um, it it's not gonna look the same. It's gonna look all ugly, pixelated. But now they have to actually redo the textures, redo everything so that it looks nice on these new screens. So yeah, it just like you were saying, it's just they have to just upgrade everything. So.
Yeah, me, in my opinion, same thing. 4Ks, we're still 5, 6 years away from getting it. Back in 2007, when I bought my TV for $600, it wasn't even 1080p. It was 720, 60 hertz. But you couldn't really do 1080p back then. It was mostly plasmas that did it, and everything was over $1,000. Think about it. 8 months ago, a 4K monitor is $4,000, or TV or whatever. Now you're getting down in price to $500 for a Samsung for 60 hertz. But they're TN panels. They're not the panels that we use right now for the regular. Like my 60 hertz is not TN because the color is better, but the 144 you guys have is TN, so the colors aren't that great. But in say, yeah, like Energy stated also, you can't push it with the cards that we have now in the processors. I can play any game at 4K on low and get over 60 FPS with my card. But if you're playing 4K, do you really want to play on low? Energy, don't fall asleep. I'm watching you.
I'm not following. I was just checking so much.
1440p.
I'm not.
I,
I'm not getting out because I'm sleeping. I'm just.
yeah. 1440p is like you said, nobody's gonna use it. It's like 480. Who used 480p? That's
Yeah.
just sitting there. Because there's also 1600p and everything, which is 2K, 2560 by 1600, whatever it is. Makes no sense. The cool thing about 4K though is you can have 4 desktops on the screen because it's 4 1080p panels basically into one. So instead of watching one porn video, you can watch 4.
Well, it always comes back to that, doesn't it?
Right.
That's
Which,
all.
that's kind of funny because actually that's kind of what brought VHS into popularity over Beta. Beta was the better technology, but
Same thing
that
with
industry
Laserdisc and
chose
DVD.
VHS.
Laserdisc and DVD. That industry chose DVD.
Yeah.
Like I can pull out Laserdisc right now from behind me. Can't see it because it's like
Well,
that
it's
way.
also, to be honest, it's also kind of HD DVD and Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I thought
The
Blu-ray was going to win that one.
Well, absolutely, but one of the things that really helped was that um,
The
the
industry.
PS3 came out with the
Oh,
Blu-ray player built in, whereas Microsoft was trying to push HD DVD. But with the Xbox, you had to buy the add-on for the HD DVD. It didn't come with it
$100. Yep.
natively.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that absolutely killed it. Had the Xbox come natively with HD DVD, it probably would have been a closer competition. Blu-ray
Yeah.
still probably would have won out just because of some of the extra features it had. Where one Blu-ray disc can hold 25 gigs of data, and then you have the double-sided and it's 50, and I think they even have some out now that are like 50 and 100. So, but still, that was the mistake that Microsoft made with that, was that they didn't put it out natively. You got to pay an extra $100 just to get this. So
Yeah. And that's the thing too. What eventually ended up killing was just one company, which was Warner Brothers. If they had gone with either one, like they could have gone HD and Blu-ray, and that fight would have still been going on maybe. But
yeah,
they went Blu-ray, and okay, that just basically killed off HD DVD. But it was a pretty close. I mean, they were pretty. It was almost the same thing, but Blu-ray technically was a little bit better. But still in terms of pricing and everything, HD DVD was uh, competing pretty good, but you know
Yeah, absolutely.
the PS3 was a little bit it was more expensive than the Xbox.
Hmm.
So if you bought the HD DVD player with an Xbox would cost the same as your PS3. But the problem is it wasn't forced on you. And that was part of the problem PS3 had also was that's why they lost that console war was because it was more expensive. And what's funny now is it's backwards. Now the PS4 is winning that fight because it's cheaper than the Xbox. And now
The
Xbox,
PS4 is stronger
yeah,
too,
they're unbundling their Kinect so that it's cheaper.
but that
So,
kills the
Well,
purpose of it.
and that I think another reason some of that is has also been, well there was a lot of things with at E3 and all that kind of stuff with Microsoft talking about not being able to play old games, not being able to play used games.
exactly. Yep.
Now
Oh,
I know that they kind of changed some of their stances on some of those things, but I think that some of those kind of issues really turned people away from an Xbox that may have been on the fence.
Right, exactly.
Um, and then also, I think another thing happens to be the having to pay to play multiplayer. Like Xbox, you have to pay for Xbox Live every month, otherwise you can't get online and do anything. Whereas
Yep.
his PlayStation has always been free
but now with the
to do that.
PS4, I think you have to pay.
Well, you have to get PlayStation Plus,
Yeah.
but it still ends up being cheaper than you having to buying Xbox Live. So, and with the PlayStation Plus, um, they were the first ones to be like, hey, if you have PlayStation Plus, every so often we're gonna offer you some free games, or we're gonna offer you some good discounts on
Yep.
games. Because I've had PlayStation Plus for my PS3 for years now, and I pay $50 a month. I mean, not a month, $50 a year, and you get one new game out of it. It pays for itself right there.
Yeah.
And I've I get 5 or 6 games a year at least out of it.
Yeah.
And so it's been really nice for me, and the PS4 is the same way. Now
Yep.
Microsoft did finally introduce something with that
Yep.
where they're going to give some games away, but they
It's too
kind of
late.
did it a little too late. Yeah, that
Yeah.
PlayStation Plus is already built up, and everybody knows about it, and there's a lot of people that like it and use it. So
Yep.
So, do you need an expensive computer to a video game? To a game, not video game.
uh, it depends on what you're wanting to play.
If you want to play
How
medium
well?
settings,
Yeah, you really don't have to have that expensive of a computer. You could pay $1,000 or less and play medium settings on a lot of games. Not every game, because there's definitely games where you gotta have a really nice computer to play.
Yeah.
But there are
You can probably get maybe like a $600 build that'll play most of the stuff on medium, even
yeah,
like right
absolutely.
now. So, yeah, you definitely don't. It's something comparable to a console. Of course, consoles now, um, their pricing is a bit similar to what a computer would be with that type of capability. I know the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 were, I guess, what would you call them? Not loss leaders, but they were selling that hardware cheaper than if you would have to buy the parts because they'd regain their money on the
Yeah,
games.
absolutely. They were selling the consoles at a loss because it was more expensive
Exactly.
for them to make them than it was
Yeah.
of what they were actually making off of them.
And now I think the PlayStation 4 actually, I think they make a couple dollars on it, so
I
they
think
might
so.
be
I think so.
so.
Which
Yeah.
they definitely they did that right though. I mean,
Yeah.
I think they did it right with how they did the PS3 with operating at a loss off of that and knowing that they're going to make their money back up on games and
Yeah.
eventually down the road, because I think one of the last models of the PS3 they actually made $1 or $2 off of each one. They finally got it to where the hardware was cheap enough and small enough
Yeah.
that they were making some money off of it. But
So I mean, it doesn't. You don't need. I don't think you need an expensive computer to game. It's just if you want to game at the highest quality, at the best frames, then yeah, you would. But I mean, you
each
can
of us spent
still.
over $2,000 on our builds.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just a big range. I mean, there's people who spend $15,000 on them, and it's
Yeah,
so
unfazed.
it's So it doesn't have to be very expensive to game on a computer. So we'll see how the Steam machines end up
The
going.
games I think
Yeah,
are gonna play
absolutely. Some of those
amazing,
will be interesting to see.
but the consoles though, they don't play at 1080p for the most part, even at 60 FPS. The Xbox only
Yeah, a
does
lot of them
720.
still play at 720p. And there's a lot of games like there used to be that there weren't a lot of games that were made 1080p. Now there's more of them that are made,
Yep.
say they can do 1080p, but still most of them natively run at 720p.
And they're supposed to support up to 4K also.
What the new consoles?
Yeah, that's what's crazy about this.
I guess we'll see.
So everybody here has Nvidia. Why? Even though that's not on the list of topics.
I guess I'll start. Yeah, it just goes back. I've been buying video cards since there's been a bunch of companies that have come and gone. Matrox. There's Diamond Multimedia. There
Matrox was
was
the lifetime warranty ones, right?
I don't know. I never bought one. I never got those. Um, but there was that. There was the ATIs.
Oh yeah.
Nvidia actually came along kind of late during all the graphics cards. They came out after a bunch of other companies had come and gone. Um, but ATI was there already, and I I bought a lot of their cards, and then they got to Radeons, and I bought their ATI. No, what do they call them? All-in-wonders. You could watch TV and game, and they were good. The problem I always had with them was I'd get a new video game, I'd install it, boom, crash, blue screen. Or I'd play 5 minutes, boom, computer resets. So then I started hearing, okay, yeah, everybody who has this ATI cards, it's a driver issue. So we gotta wait till a patch comes out in 2 weeks. Well, I bought this game already. I don't want to wait 2 weeks to play it. So it became a drive. That's just what kind of killed it for me after a while. And even as recently as maybe even 4 years ago, I had an ATI and same issue. Videos would
What, the
crash and
5000
all that.
series or 4000 it was?
I have to look back, but I think it was still a ATI like all-in-wonder.
Uh,
Um, I would hook up my cable to it and watch cable TV on it and all that. But it was, I think, a 7000 series actually. Or is that wait?
no, that's the new ones.
Those are new
That's
ones?
yeah. It goes down by thousands. Like how we go by hundreds, they go by thousands.
Yeah. I'd have to look back. Maybe it was. I just remember seven in there somewhere. Um, but
Probably like 4970 or something like that.
probably. And just after that, they had awesome features. It's just their software wasn't very good. So I just the first time I bought an Nvidia, I never had an issue. Ran fine. It was the one that I guess GeForce 2. I didn't buy
Oh,
GeForce 1, I bought a GeForce 2. And it's the one that comes out in the Halo commercial that I always link to all the time.
oh yeah, I love that Halo commercial.
Yeah. Before it was Xbox exclusive. So I never had an issue with Nvidia. I buy a game, start playing it right away. So, and that's still true to this day. So, I don't know. Except for Watch Dogs. I'm not mentioning that.
Oh man, I'll mention that. So no, that's in the nuts. Like about the game versus game. But
Right.
yeah, these cards never gave me an issue ever. This is my 780 Ti is my fourth Nvidia card in my lifetime. I had a 1 series for my uncle on his computer I used to game on. Then I bought this for myself, the 8600. I have a 3 series on my mother's computer that I used to game with. Then I have my Ti. But I had that one AMD card and somebody vibrated, and that card killed it for me for AMD ever. R7 supposed to be able to play games on high to ultra on 720p. Did not happen. I tried with my 4770K with 8 gigs of RAM at the time at 720p on low, running two screens, just playing on one, couldn't get above 45 frames with Mantle on to push it. So that card, not that great. And I see everybody having issues. And that card wouldn't overheat. It wouldn't go past 40 degrees Celsius. My Ti right now is running at like 60. But what killed it, it would just black out. I would just get a black screen.
Wow, that sucks.
Yeah, and I would have to restart. But the car wouldn't overheat. I wouldn't get no driver errors, nothing. Just did that. But my TI, the only problem we have is with watchdogs every now and then for certain people here.
Yeah, like I'm just gonna go just real quick again about the Watch Dogs thing. What I was mentioning before was I think it wasn't even related to the video card for the reason that crashing. I think it was hard drive related. So I haven't tested it yet, but it could be that.
You put
So
on the
I'm
new
still
hard drive?
testing. No, I had a hard drive that was full, and I was recording to it.
Oh,
So I'm thinking it was OBS causing
Ah,
the crash.
yeah.
So
gotcha.
yeah, but I still have to test it out to see if that's what it was.
All right, so Crow?
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I used to buy AMD stuff with a lot of things with processor. Used to buy AMD video cards, all that stuff. And to be honest, I think that the two companies used to be a little bit closer in quality and competitiveness. But Intel and Nvidia, I feel like, especially over the last probably about Nvidia probably 4 to 5 years, and Intel really over the last 2 to 3 years, maybe a little bit longer than that,
The
have
i7s.
have really separated themselves from AMD, um, and what used to be ATI, which AMD bought. But so I have been buying NVIDIA graphics cards for the last 5 or 6 years, maybe even a little bit longer than that now. And not only NVIDIA, but EVGA. EVGA is about the only brand of NVIDIA that I buy. I have yet to have a problem with an EVGA video card. Uh, I still have my GTX 580 that Energy was holding up. A friend of mine is still using that card right now, and I had one of the first 580s, the 1.5 gig version of that card, and I think I bought it 6 years ago, and he's still using it and playing BF3, BF4, getting decent frames, running I think medium settings is what he was running. So EVGA and NVIDIA have been just making some great graphics cards, and continuing to improve upon their graphics cards. So going forward, they'll probably be the brand that I continue to stick with, just because, like you said, you plug that thing into your board, you never have an issue with running games. Day one the game comes out, if you have any issue, it's because the game has something going on. It's not because of your video card.
Yep.
And Nvidia is also so good about getting drivers out there. Like you said, AMD. I remember AMD had a big issue with, I think it was BF4 when it came out, or it may have been BF3. I can't remember which one it was, but they had a big issue with doing crossfire support. Like it would just crash on you if you try to do crossfire, and it took them, I think, a month and a half to actually get that corrected. And NVIDIA had the same issue with the SLI, but I think it took them like 2 weeks to get it corrected, and everything worked out smoothly, and and running like it was supposed to. So NVIDIA just seems to be, um, have the better uh, resources with everything. Which, I mean, they definitely have more money to put into testing and all those kind of things. But until AMD is able to catch up with some of that, I'm definitely going to be sticking with NVIDIA.
Yeah, and there's a new guy at AMD back that pretty much when they were equal, Intel and AMD, that was the guy that was heading AMD at the time, and he pretty much brought the company up to Intel levels. He's back, so I guess we'll see what happens with that. Hopefully, it'll be a little bit more competition and
Yeah, that'd be
better for all of
great.
us. So,
Competition is always good, especially with that, because I mean, you're talking about AMD and Nvidia. They're pretty much the only two video card makers that are out there. So if AMD just kind of slacks with things, then that allows Nvidia to kind of slack with their video cards. It doesn't push them to be as creative and pushing the edge with their video cards as they would if AMD's right on their heels trying to catch them.
yeah.
So.
Yeah, the 295 is king right now. Even SLI 780 Ti's can't compete with it at all the games. And the Titan Z, which is the most expensive card from Nvidia, really, that you can game with, can't touch it at like 4K and stuff. But
Yeah, but that's the only card. That's the problem for AMD. That's the only card where they went out, really.
yeah,
Every other card for NVIDIA ends up doing better. So you can't just have the one top of the line card because there's only a small group of people that are actually
I
going to
can
be
afford
buying
it.
that card that can
Exactly.
afford that card. You've got to have all your other cards being competitive in price, but also being competitive in quality.
Right.
And that's really where Nvidia has been in the lead for a while. Is that yeah, they have for the long time they had the top of the line card that was better than the top of the line AMD card. It was also a little more expensive, but usually it wasn't terribly more expensive. The comparative cards, but Nvidia also has good solid, 100, 150, $200 cards like the 750 Ti that's come out that you see a
Yeah,
lot of people
so that's
picking
fun.
up.
Yep.
That's I think what $150 for the 750 Ti
150
or
for the
something like
50.
that. It's you're not playing Battlefield 4 or Battlefield Hardline or any of these games on ultra, max frames or anything, but it's a very good, especially somebody that's new to computer gaming, doesn't know a lot about hardware, doesn't understand about overclocking or anything like that. It's a really good entry
Beginner
level
friendly,
card
yeah.
for some of those kind of people.
Yep.
And you're not talking about a lot of money, so it goes to that fact of you can put this $600, $700 computer together. You can play these newer games, play on low, medium, maybe even some of them on high, and get decent frames. So
Yep.
Yeah. But they should put out a card like the 290S that hits 90 degrees.
yeah, and that's another thing with those AMD cards is they get so hot, and
Like
there's already so many people that struggle with overheating. Like you were saying with your 4770K about it getting up to 100 degrees.
yeah,
Um, unless you're really doing liquid cooling, there's most cases out there they do a decent job if of getting rid of heat if you're not overclocking at all, if you don't have the biggest video card out there. But you start trying to overclock or you start putting a big video card that puts out a lot of heat, a lot of those cases just can't get rid of the heat very well.
Yep. That's the other thing too is even going back when ATI started, those cards always ran very hot. So it's nothing new. It's been since way a long time. ATI cards always ran hotter. Their fans also ran louder. So I remember turning on my computer and boy, it was loud. It was loud. I would have to turn it off. And when I turned it off, every time I would just be like, whoa, that just the it was so it just seems too silent because I had turned, the computer had been on such a long time, and the video card, the fans on those were just going crazy all the
yeah,
time.
same thing with mine, man.
Yeah, and like the one I have now, it's pretty quiet, and most of the Nvidia cards I've had were always pretty quiet. So yeah, and the heat too. It never got as hot inside the room as when I had ATI cards. Or now I keep saying ATI because that's how I know the company, but it's AMD now. But that's yeah.
Yeah, it's still the same line.
Okay.
It's just AMD bought it and kind of
Yeah.
rebranded it a little bit, but yeah, it's still all the same kind of technology.
Right.
Like right now, I'm at 66 degrees on my processor because I'm doing this and I have like the YouTube video running, which somehow uses GPU now with Flash
Yeah,
on
it's
that video.
hardware accelerated.
Yeah, and I have a
Yep.
Twitch stream open, so my temps are a bit higher, but my NVIDIA card isn't that high. It's at 60 degrees, which is amazing for that card because I have a smaller case. So to the last segment, guys, are you ready for
Absolutely.
Yep.
the two game showdown? The first game is in the showdown, Hardline or BF4? I'll go first on
I'll
this.
I'll let the two of you go first
Yeah.
since I never played Hardline. So
in my opinion, the game modes they selected in Hardline should have been made longer. Especially Blood Money, the one we always played.
Well, I'm sure once the game actually comes out, you'll be able to increase, amount of money, increase tickets, all those kind of things. It's just right now all those server settings are controlled by EA, so it's whatever they want. But once people can actually rent their own servers, it'll be made so that a lot of those things can be longer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
because that game would end in less than 5 minutes that time if I really played the fucking objective.
Yeah, it all came back to the team. If the team was actually doing like when we would get on and we would work as a team,
Yeah.
those games would end fast. So
You want to snap your fingers,
yeah, I was just like, this will just go fast. Yeah.
but and it's not worth $60 in my opinion from what I've seen. It's like we all said, it's an expansion. That's it. It's not its own game in my opinion because it doesn't bring anything new to the table. Like Energy always says, zip linings in BF2.
Yeah.
The
yep,
guns
zip
are the
line and
same.
grappling hook.
Yeah. So my opinion, Battlefield 4, even though it had the worst launch of any game I've ever seen, even with the COD, with COD you not being able to play for a week, the Battlefield 4, the netcode was messed up. All the months that they just fixed like 2 months ago,
No, the netcode wasn't messed up. It's just
bad.
the
Different.
netcode was bad, and they didn't want to do anything about it, especially at launch. There was nothing wrong with the netcode. It was just terrible netcode.
Yeah. And it just the Battlefield 4 launcher. Oh my god, with all them glitches, 100 kill assists. I get a guy to 0 health, die. All right,
Now with
so
four, that actually counted as a kill. So, but I
yeah,
mean, yeah, the having an actual 100 kill assist is kind of annoying. So you're
Yeah.
right.
that's the only thing
But
I.
but but I mean the 75 plus count as kill. I did really like that they
Yes.
added that in 4 over 3 because there's so many times where you get a 90 plus kill assist in 3 and it's like really I just died. I took that guy down to less than 10 health and then my teammate finished him off and all I get's an assist. I don't get anything
Yeah.
else. So
So, Energy, since you play Hardline more than me, probably.
I actually enjoyed Hardline quite a bit. It
Hmm.
it's different than Battlefield. It's a totally different game. So it's kind of saying, it's like saying, okay, uh, Modern Warfare 3 and Modern Warfare 2, there's same engine, same. It's just different maps, different abilities, or different
Yeah.
perks or whatever. But they sold those games at $60 a piece.
Yeah, of course.
Why can't Battlefield do it? It's the same thing. It's all. It just Battlefield has the stigma of the Battlefield 4 launch where everybody's like dogging on it, saying, okay, that was bad. And it also goes back to Battlefield 3. It's the same thing that happened with Battlefield 3, and they apparently didn't learn anything. And part of it is because they were already working on Battlefield 4.
Yeah.
Now, I think they're finally realizing that they really messed up by not paying attention to their customers. I was just speaking to Dom yesterday about the combo rows. In Battlefield 3, that was not even in there until we complained about it and they added it in the PC version because they were saying we didn't need it because, like for example, on the consoles, they have already, you know,
Microphones.
yeah, the microphones and they have group chat already. So they didn't really need to worry about it that much. And so they were thinking, well, that's what PC users will do. They'll get on TeamSpeak or get on whatever they use, and that's it. Well, yeah, but not everybody that you're playing with in those games on PC are gonna get on TeamSpeak with you. So there needed to be a way to say yes, thank you, give me some ammo, and all that stuff pretty quickly. And so then that's when they realized and added it to the game.
well, and it's not
So
only that. You could be on TeamSpeak with 5 people, but there's still 60 other people on the server
yeah, exactly, and
that,
that's what I was
that you're
saying. Like,
not
yeah.
communicating with. So
Exactly. So not, that's what I was saying. Like you can't. Not everybody on that game is going to be in TeamSpeak with you. So there needed to be a quick way to say thanks or I need ammo, rather than typing it out. But by the time you type it out, you're dead already. So
Yeah.
um, and so they added that kind of stuff in, and there's still other little things that they still haven't done. But I think Battlefield Hardline, they've kind of that's been in the works since 3 years already. Also, so this was before the Battlefield 4 launch that they already started on Hardline. and it's a totally different company that's doing it. I think it's what the Dead Space guys. Um, I forget that
Yeah,
company's
something
name.
like that, I think.
So it's kind of like Infinity Ward and what was that other
Treyarch.
company? Treyarch. Yeah, that's what they're doing. That's what they were trying to do with Battlefield. So I don't know. I'd say it's Hardline is its own thing, and I think it's kind of getting a
Rep.
um, bad not rap, but it's not. I guess it's not being compared fairly because it's being compared with Battlefield 4, and it's
Those are two different games.
yeah. And but I also see the other way. It's to me, it's kind of like an expansion and stuff like that. But that goes for most games, you know. So I don't know. So I guess yeah, I like Battlefield 4 as well, and I'm just waiting to see how the next Battlefield version comes out, maybe Battlefield 5, and see if they learned anything from all this stuff.
So you're
Yeah.
saying they should go back to BF2?
That's actually exactly what I was about to say. Mine is still BF2. I
Hmm.
still prefer that game over any of the other ones.
Yep.
Even though, BF2, it was all you had was conquest. There wasn't rush, there wasn't obliteration, there wasn't, all these different game modes.
Domination.
Yep.
But I mean, well, yeah, there wasn't the domination like that. But to me, just like every single one of the BF2 maps were good. There weren't bad maps in Battlefield 2 like there is with BF4, even some with BF3. It seems like they didn't really take that much time in really making the maps. It seems like some of the maps are more about, oh, this building's gonna fall, and they cared more about
Shanghai.
those
Yeah.
aesthetics for the map than they actually did the map design as to how people were gonna fight in it.
Yeah, it seemed like they
Um,
were doing okay. We have this technology. How can we fit this technology into the gameplay instead of how can it, making the
Yeah, how
maps
can we better
first?
enhance the gameplay on this
Yeah.
map? Yeah, exactly, and that's what I'm saying. I think like BF2, the maps and all the maps were kind of different in Battlefield 2 for the most part. I mean, you had a couple of maps that had a similar kind of layout or style to them, but for the most part, most of the maps were different. This map may be more of an air map, and this map is more of a armor type of map, and then this map is more of a ground map. They had a few that really it was. Jets are what dominated. They had a few that helicopters are what dominated it. Um, and just things like that. I just feel like Battlefield 2 has still been the best for map, for gameplay, um,
No how
and
free gen. People actually give you crap for Survive P online.
uh, yeah, the voice over IP was also a little bit ahead of its time with Battlefield 2, so that it was really nice. And I don't know what else to say about it. It still is by far my favorite Battlefield. I put over 3,000 hours into that game over 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
Um, Loved playing that game, and there were so many just like different things that I enjoyed because I started out mostly on the ground because it was the first big multiplayer FPS that I really got into, really started playing a lot. Um, Started out on the ground because I didn't know how to do much else. Was terrible on the ground, but still played it. Then got into the tanks just because armor is the easiest thing to kind of really pick up and do decently at. Uh, then I had a friend that was a pretty good helicopter pilot from playing in 1942, the Vietnam mod. So started learning how to use the helicopters with him. Uh, then kind of taught myself how to fly a jet. Got pretty good at the jet. I ended up with 300 to 400 hours in the helicopter, 300 to 400 hours in the jet, 200 to 300 hours in the tank, and then finally really learned how to play infantry, especially when I got into clans and started playing some competitive matches and stuff.
Yeah.
But for me, I mean, there was just so many more things that you could go and do on that game than it seems like you can in Battlefield 3 and 4 sometimes. So
Yeah, I agree. Battlefield 2 was, I think, the best Battlefield, even though the graphics and all that are dated. And even before that, there was a lot of stuff in 1942 that I liked that Battlefield 2 didn't do. But it's all a little bit of progress. I mean, just keep changing. But once they
Yeah,
went
but
after
for the
Battlefield,
day, BF2, like the
mm,
graphics were amazing
yeah,
because it still is one of the games out more so than just about any other game where people had to go upgrade their systems just to be able to play the game.
yeah,
Because I had some friends that played it, but also had some friends that worked at like CompUSA and Best Buy and those kind of places when that game was coming out, and they were like, "Yeah, man, we've had so many people coming in and buying video cards, buying new computers and stuff like that,"
yeah,
and a lot of them are saying, I'm coming to get this stuff just so I can play Battlefield 2.
yeah.
So
So it lived up to the hype.
it
And
did. It was. I mean, it really was a good game, and it was only on PC. There was no console. There really consoles were around at the time. The PS1 was around, but and the PS2 was around, and I think that
mhm.
was also around the time the Xbox was coming out. But that game was made for PC. It wasn't. There was nothing for console for it. They came out later with Battlefield Modern Warfare. No,
Modern
something. I
Combat.
don't know. Modern
Modern
Combat. That's what
Combat.
it was. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, a little bit later, but that had nothing to do with Battlefield 2 at all. So
yeah. And
I
they,
think
they
that's
just
another reason why Battlefield 2 was so good is because they just concentrated on the PC. They weren't trying to make anything for the PS3 or the Xbox or anything
well,
like that.
and that's the problem they had, I think, and that's where they messed up, is they totally abandoned the PC and went to console
Yeah.
and started making Bad Company, which was a PC, I mean a console only,
Yeah, that
and I
was
think Modern
that was
Combat and all
early.
those. And then they realized, hey, we're losing a big market share from the PC users that are still on PC. They did not move over to the console, so that's when they started doing like Battlefield 3
Yeah, and Bad
and
Company too.
back oh yeah, Bad Company 2. And I love Bad Company 2 was awesome as well.
Yeah, it
That's
was
one
a
of my other
lot of
favorite
fun.
games. But they kind of when they did Battlefield 3, they kind of went back to at first I think they started actually developing it on PC, but then they stopped that and the primary development platform was console after a little while. And I think that's when the Xbox 360 had come out, and that's well was going to come out, and that's when they switched over to 360 as their main platform. So yeah, they're still, I guess, hopefully they learn from all their mistakes.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yep.
So the last video game showdown: GTA 5 or Watchy Doggy. Energy's thinking. It's on you,
Well,
Energy. You played
okay,
the most
well,
of both.
they're both good games. It's just different. They're not this is basically the same thing I said with Hardline and Battlefield 4, but they're both open world, but GTA 5 is way above, way much more production value, way more. You can see a lot more resources put into it than Watch Dogs. It's pretty obvious. But Watch Dogs tried to do something different. They didn't want to make a GTA clone. Watch Dogs is not a GTA clone at all.
Yeah.
And you can just see by the game modes. You can't drive a spider tank in GTA 5 and go up walls and jump off of them and all that stuff. So they try to do something different. So I give them credit for that. But with that said, I think the problem the Watch Dogs has is they did way too much PR. When you do that, you set
Set
the
yourself
bar
up.
way too high, and there's no way to do that without proving yourself first. GTA had already proven themselves. They don't need to prove that they're awesome. The next GTA, you're gonna go out that same day when it comes out and get it. Watch Dogs, just from the commercials, it was all rendered graphics, which wasn't gameplay. And then even the gameplay, some of it was already not even what ended up being in the game. So,
The Bloom
uh,
effect.
yeah, it was just I think Watch Dogs just messed up in their campaign, their marketing, and not really in their game. It's just a different game, but the PR just killed it, I
Isn't it
think.
by the same people with the Sleepy Dogs though?
I don't know. I haven't checked.
Ubisoft.
Well, Ubisoft is the publisher. The actual, it's like saying EA made Battlefield.
Yeah.
DICE made Battlefield, but so I don't know. I'd have to see. I haven't looked into who actually did Watch Dogs, unless it was Ubisoft, like their own development. I don't know if they
Yeah.
actually.
Ubisoft Montreal.
Okay, which I think was I don't remember who they used to be. That was their own company at one time, I think, and then Ubisoft bought them.
Yeah, they've been Ubisoft Montreal for a while though.
Yeah.
Oh no,
And
Sleeping Dogs is Square Enix. My bad.
Yeah.
oh right, yeah, yeah. So, but Watch Dogs, I mean the with Ubisoft, I think I heard Ubisoft Montreal was in trouble. I don't know if they were going to close that studio or maybe it was a different one.
Oh
I don't
wow.
remember. But they're just totally different games. I don't know. What you guys think?
Eh, GTA 5, GTA is on a whole different level from Watch Dogs. Just the mods alone, like in GTA 4, being able to fly as Iron Man or play as Batman or Wolverine. Watch Dogs, the only mod is to make the graphics look what it's supposed to be like, you know? So, hold on, we gotta switch that. So, the Watch Dogs was a decent storyline. A bit short, in my opinion, you know? Because how many hours did it take you? 12, 15?
Yeah, it was a shorter story, I think. Yeah, short single player campaign.
And we know that GTA is not that short.
Yeah.
And I don't want it to be like the South Park game I bought, that there's no DLC with more missions or anything, and you're just stuck with that one single player. Because the multiplayer, in my opinion, is not that fun unless you're doing open world. Because the hacking, you're going to get bored of it in time. In GTA, there's always shit to do. This You can take tanks and all that crap. There's not a tank in Watch Dogs. It's an armored truck. The helicopter, you can't shoot it down with guns. I tried. Nothing. No rocket launchers. It's just a grenade launcher. That's my whole thing. GTA, you can do so much more. Watch Dogs is a good game. I'm not gonna say great because it does have its flaws. With like that issue that you had, and I had that one time with the overheating, that
Hmm.
the graphics card driver crashed,
Yeah.
and you can't shift tab to bring up the UPlay overcast or whatever you want to go into multiplayer if you have OBS streaming it.
But a lot of times that's OBS. It's a whole thing with that, but yeah, I think it does that with a lot of other stuff. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I still haven't played Watch Dogs, so I can't say too much from that. But I agree with Energy. It's definitely one of those where I even thought before it came out that it was overhyped, and that was one of the
yeah,
reasons I didn't buy it because, with the amount of hype that they did, it was going to be something that was going to be extremely hard to live up to.
yeah.
Um, and like you said, uh, with Grand Theft Auto, the next Grand Theft Auto, they could tell you the release date and not do a single thing of advertising with it,
Yep.
and it would still be one of the top selling games that entire year, just because of everybody knows how good those games are put
Yeah.
together. They've got good stories. Um, the graphics are going to be great. They're going to throw in some new little features that are just going to be amazing to you.
Yeah. Of course.
Um, and GTA just has that reputation and is known for that. So there, for them, you knew what to expect with five. You knew it was going to be a good game. I really liked the 3-person
Yeah. Sorry.
gameplay with it. Yeah, with the story. I thought that was, you know,
Yeah.
something that they really did a good job with, and then how you could like switch between the people and the dude be off doing some random shit, and it's like, what the hell are you
Yeah.
doing?
I
I,
always
I, I thought they
yeah.
did a really good job with that.
I always
Um,
found it funny when I guess his name is Michael. I'd switch to him and he's walking out of like a Starbucks with coffee in hand and he just throws it off to the side. All right, let's get going.
yeah, exactly. Or you see, I can't remember what was the other white guy on the game. I can't remember what it was.
Trevor.
Trevor.
Trevor, yeah, but you'd like find him like sleeping on a park bench, trashed, or
Yeah.
something like that, just some stupid random thing. It was hilarious, but yeah, I actually wasn't sure how that was going to work, how that kind of
Replays.
effect was going to work, going with 3 people and switching between and all those kind of things. But I think they did a really good job with it, and because of things like that, you're always wanting to see what they're going to do next, what they're going to build on next with the GTA.
Yeah.
And not that I think that Watch Dogs is a bad game, just Like I said, I haven't played it, so I don't know fully, and whatever I do know is just from watching people play. But I just don't feel like there was quite the follow through with
Yeah.
gameplay,
Yeah.
especially with the kind of hype that they had that a GTA has. So,
Yeah.
not that it's a bad game, not that when it goes down I won't pick it up at some point, but I just think GTA right now is still one of the top game franchises, and will continue to be as long as they keep from letting EA buy them out.
Oh
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
because that's always been a story almost every year for the last several years. Is EA makes a bid to Rockstar to either buy Rockstar or just to buy GTA itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think as long as Rockstar continues to make it, GTA is going to have some absolutely amazing and wonderful games.
Yep.
And like Gavin in the chat said, GTA 5 because of Uplay. It's on the YouTube channel. Uplay sucks. But
Yeah,
Right.
Uplay
Yeah.
does suck,
yeah,
man.
that's the end of tonight's stream. Oh, I mean not stream, whatever you want to
Well,
call this.
the one thing I will say with
Webcast.
GTA though is that I don't care for is how long it takes them to get it out for PC.
Oh yeah, 1 year.
You
And the
know, it's
optimization.
like we were talking about that. I think it was last night or the night before Energy.
Yes.
Yes, GTA they always put it out like a year later for PC, but I would love to see them not necessarily have it out when it comes out for consoles because I understand it's usually not ready. They still have to do some porting and some things like that, and I don't have a problem with that. But I'd like to see it, 3 to 4 months after the console
Yeah, not
release
a
that
whole year.
the PC release actually comes out. So
Yeah.
that's the only complaint that I have with GTA really. So
But so guys, we're gonna call it a night because we're at 1 hour and 31 minutes. Oh man, and me and Energy's been here since 8:30, so we've been here. My time says 3 hours. We've been in hangouts messing around with it. So where can they find you guys?
I stream every now and then. Try and stream as much as I can every day, but I don't always get the chance. But when I do, it's at right there at the bottom, right there. So, yeah, that's
And
where
what's
you.
your Twitter?
And I do have a Twitter. It's YUDD Energy, YUDD Energy. And let's see, and you can just message me on either one of those, and I'll reply as soon as I can, or just stop by whenever you have a chance. Appreciate it.
And Crow, where can they find you?
I've got Twitter. It's Crow at Crow2627 for Twitter. Twitch is Crow_2627. Recently changed that, but that's that's the main two places. Like Energy said, you have any questions for me or want to know anything from me, message me either one of those places, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can with any of it.
And also, what game do you guys mostly stream when you guys do stream? Before I go on, man, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I stream mainly my main two games right now are Watch Dogs. um, Speaking of, and some Minecraft, and then I'm right now with the Steam sale. It's gonna vary. So.
Yeah, that's next week's topic. What did you buy in Steam sale? And Crow, what do you normally stream?
Right now is offline. That's what I normally stream. Waiting to get that motherboard back. So
Oh yeah, I forgot.
can't really stream much of anything at the moment. The laptop's not quite good enough to really stream. But I think as soon as I get my PC back, I'll probably start streaming some Battlefield again.
That'd be
But
nice.
also CS:GO is one of the things that I stream a decent amount. And then yes, I'm gonna start streaming a lot of stuff that I've gotten from the Steam sale. There's a lot of games that I picked up that I really want to play, and for me, whenever, especially it used to be whenever I played a game, I streamed, and I'm gonna try and get back into that habit of any time that I'm on my PC playing a game that I'm gonna be streaming, just so that I can try and get some of those viewers to interact with, and also try and build the community that I have, or regain some of the community that I had on Twitch. So.
And what happens if you're playing that Ron Jeremy game?
Yeah, I'm not playing that game, so that's all you, Dom. I don't do the try screen there, brother.
Why you do this? And myself, let me click on my image so they can see me.
Miss Akira.
You gotta love Miss Akira. I think I saw her on the train one day too.
I'm sure you probably did. I bet you went and tried to grab her ass too.
That's a story for another day. But you can find me right here at the bottom, twitch.tv/my name, Dominican3351. Find me on this YouTube channel with my whole government, except my middle name. And my Twitter is YUDD _ DOM. Because I messaged Energy earlier when I made it. But yeah, I stream almost every night except Friday night because I'm sleeping at work. Central AC, bro. And I stream any game that I have and I feel like playing that day. It could be DuckTales, it could be Solitaire or Rock Simulator. But mostly Battlefield when it feels like working at CSGO. So that's a wrap. If you guys enjoyed, please subscribe, leave a comment below. And if you leave a comment, I'll let everybody know what you said. Thank you and have a good day. Peace.
Yeah, thank you.